Good evening. Welcome. Part 17 of Red Dead Redemption 1 with the Therapist. Great to have you aboard for more Dutch Vanderlinden. We're in Thieves Landing, which I forgot I slept here after the last episode. So, is this my Kentucky whatchamacallit? I was gonna try to find beavers, and I'm realizing that I did not pay any attention to where they might be. So maybe we're just not gonna get. Maybe we'll come across them. I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna go back up here to Agent Ross.
Let's go.
Hopefully I don't get shot on the way out of Thieves Landing. Sorry, friend. Not my responsibility.
Come on.
Planning on playing Undead Nightmare? No. I think zombies are stupid. Especially in this context. Agent Ross.
Whoa. What do you want, Marston?
My family. I've done what you asked.
No, you haven't. This is the land of opportunity, and I gave you the opportunity to save your family, and you failed. How could I possibly reward you?
Marston, you're a public menace. We should have had you killed.
I wish you had. But since you didn't, where's my family?
Oh, spare me the noble savage fall on the sword tripe, will you, old boy? It's nauseating. You don't wish to be dead. You're an insignificant creature desperately clinging on to life like the rest of the scum in this town. Yeah, I know it's tough. You like Dutch. He's a charming fellow. He makes sense. He's like one of those nature writers from back east. Only he takes things a tiny little step too far. Rather than just loving the flowers and the animals and the harmony between man and beast, he shoots people in the head for money.
He's not wrong. The more I've thought about this, the more I've thought that, like, if you were introduced to this universe, and this was LA Noire, you were coming at it from like the Pinkertons perspective, or the police, detectives, etc. Dutch would be an unbelievable villain, and we would probably hate him as much as they do. John is, like Bill Williamson and Javier, a menace, as he says, has been. we have, I can't emphasize that. I know it's a video game, but we have slaughtered hundreds of people. Hundreds. like this is, we are murderers on a scale that is just mind-blowing. So he's not incorrect. Now, how he engages John around this, to me, is actually pretty fascinating. I've talked about a couple different perspectives on this, but again, this is where, which context do you decide you want to bury yourself in when you make sense of this? If this guy is, let's go best possible route. This guy is a dedicated, cares deeply about his community, enlisted as a cop for all the right reasons, is truly trying to make society a better place in the best ways that he knows how. That all exists in the context of his inability to capture any of these people that are antithetical to the reason he exists and gets up in the morning. Dutch is a menace and has evaded them for years. He is wanted across the country. People in the gang are wanted across the country, and they can't nab them. The only way that he's been able to even get remotely close is to hold one of the gang members' families hostage and leverage whatever goodwill John has toward his family in order to try to capture what amounts to basically, it's like grabbing somebody in the drug trade to go after El Chapo. So his frustration around this and his need to even use John, it is understandable why he is frustrated. And to an extent, I understand why he's being a dick. Now, whether he should be a dick in this position is a very gray area to me. In the sense that if you believe that everybody, no matter what they've done, deserves to be engaged as a human and deserves to be engaged empathically and given the benefit of the doubt, then yes, he's being an asshole in a way that nobody deserves. He's leveraging his power in a way that is problematic from a engagement standpoint, and is abusing the power he has as a police officer, as a federal agent under the government's reign. Arguably, using John's family as a pawn is, I think, the most problematic thing that he's doing. Because Abigail and Jack aren't, as far as we know, and haven't been members of the gang. We could reasonably assume that perhaps they were trapped by the gang. Maybe don't even want to be. I mean, Abigail had a lot of issues with John throughout the time that we played Red Dead 2. That them being subjected to harm in order to get to John, not great. Now, it very well could be, because we haven't seen the circumstances they're actually in. They actually could be like in witness protection. And Abigail may be thrilled about it because maybe they're in an area where Jack has access to resources and schooling. They're in a safe environment. They don't have people coming after them. They're essentially in witness protection. That very well could be the case. We are presented this from the perspective of John, however. So if you have empathy for John and all that he's done, and you believe that John is redeeming himself and trying to make good on all of the things, the bad things that he did, then yes, it is very easy to look at this guy and say he's being an asshole for no reason other than to make himself feel good about the power that he has. Again, this is, if you're sitting here watching this going, what the hell, dude, you gave a different analysis 3 episodes ago, blah, 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 blah. My whole thing on this is to give multiple perspectives in a scenario where we don't have all of the information. Like, we don't know where he comes from. We don't know what the conversations between the two agents look like. We don't know what his higher-ups are. We don't know what the nature of his engagements with John was leading up to the events of this moment. We have no idea. So him being exasperated and in a position where he's having to use John in order to try to clean things up and get rid of just the mass murderers of the likes that we've never seen, I'm maybe willing to cut him a bit of a break on the way that he talks to John, where John keeps demanding things from him despite not delivering on something that I don't even know necessarily makes all of his wrongs right. None of what John does is going to bring back all the innocent people that he robbed and killed and stole from. And yes, a huge bulk proportionately of this is on Dutch. I understand why they're going after Dutch, but again, John was a willing participant in this. One of the most famous moments from my Red Dead 2 run was when I went, John, when John had a moment to make a very clear decision about what he was going to do with his life, and he made, in the spirit of what he kept saying he wanted to do, the wrong decision. John is culpable in this. I don't... We have a lot of empathy for John because we play as John, which again speaks to an important dynamic that, like, you can find empathy for just about anybody if you get enough context and follow their story, which many of us aren't really willing to do. So the very fact that anybody who plays this game empathizes with John means that you have the capacity in you to empathize with a mass murderer. You do, because you could actually find ways to understand why they did what they did. Not all of them are sociopathic. That in of itself is kind of a fascinating dynamic. So there's a lot going on here that is, I think, really cool, but we lack the context to really find the truth in all of it. And so that's why I'm trying to give kind of multiple perspectives on how we might read this. This is where I also want to emphasize that, like, my job as a therapist is to ask the questions to get at the context so that I can understand why all of these people are ticking the way that they are. If I was going to look at these not as mass murderer and police officer and just two guys being a dick to each other, then I'm going to have to figure out what context gets them to decide to act toward each other in the way that they do so that I can cultivate some level of change. But we don't have the ability to interact with them directly. That's why I come from this. So I'm just trying to head this off. I know I'm going to get comments that are like, this is different from what you said 2 episodes ago. Yeah, it is. And also, like, this is a very nuanced situation.
And disagreeing with him.
He's a goddamn killer.
Now,
I went back and forth on if I wanted to make this point before. Because they're not, well, they're both abhorrent, terrible, horrible things. But if instead of, say, killing 50 people, John molested 50 kids, would you still be upset at the agents for being a dick to him? My guess is that there are some people watching this that as soon as I said that, immediately would go, no, absolutely not. John molested 50 kids? No, fuck him. You can be as mad at him as you want. Be a dick to him. Murder, child molestation, I feel like sit in the same echelons of awfulness, right? So if we have in some ways been desensitized to murder because it's not as taboo of a topic in video games, and we can get over death and killing more than if we were talking about something with a little more taboo and intensity around it, where all of a sudden we'd be like, wait a second, no. So just keep that in mind here in terms of, like, where these guys are coming from. I'm not saying that the cops are angels here. Yes, they could engage him differently, but their approach to him, given the context and who John is and what he's done, is understandable.
I'm not a great intellect, but the metaphysical leap from Admiring the flower to shooting a man in the head because he doesn't like the flower is a leap too far. So, I know it's easy. You see, me and Archer, we're the bad guys. We enforce the rules. Now, while the rules may not be perfect, they're really not so bad.
Exactly. What's the alternative?
Yeah. See, I'll tell you what the alternative is. It's not complicated. It's about one man and his gun versus another man. Sure, civilization may be dull, but the alternative, Mr. Marston, is hell.
And you'll notice that John is not firing back. John is smart enough to know that he's not totally incorrect. Like, humans are inherently entropic. Entropy is essentially sort of like the chaos of the universe. That, like, if things are not bounded, they expand out randomly and chaotically. Well, humans, in order to make things more survivable and predictable and all these sorts of things, have developed very sophisticated systems of the reduction of entropy. We label things. We create we have a concept of family, that somehow whoever created you is more important in this to some degree than random ass dude on the street in another town over. Like, we've created subsystems, roles, all sorts of shit in order to try to bound humanity. Like, we've created speed limits. We have boundaries on bowling lanes. We have, like, all these things. Laws, moral codes. Some people engage with, like, religious doctrine around these sorts of things. Other people have the letter of the law just in terms of whatever that is that the government and elected officials have decided is about. All of these things. The police are an organized force that is designed in order to enforce things that are inherently entropic about humans. And like he said, yes, there are some rules that are problematic. There are some rules and institutionalized levers that get pulled that disproportionately affect some people over others. Absolutely. Humans are incredibly complicated and complex, and designing a system that perfectly reins them in, I would argue, is impossible. There is always going to be a system that there will always be parts of a system that don't jive with your personal push for autonomy. And that's why people have tried philosophically to create various political structures around how to get it so that the will of the people is more likely to be pushed in than others. But even if you have a majority, you have a 9 out of 10, there's still the 1 out of 10 that doesn't agree with whatever, right? And then has to begrudgingly follow X, Y, and Z. Like, this stuff is outrageously complicated. And John is smart enough to know that. So John, listening to what this guy's saying and not pulling a gun on him or playing stupid or, you know, reacting heavily and emotionally to this, I think shows me that John is bright enough to understand where this guy is coming from. And despite his flusteredness around wanting his family to be safe, I think he's maybe improperly understanding that, like, him being around his family doesn't necessarily make them safe. Him being around his family fulfills his need to be around his family. You may even make an argument that John being around his family puts them in more danger, that the actual good thing for his family is to be separated from them. That's not my call to make, but there's enough data to possibly support that. So is John even trying to get his family back here in the context of the environment he's in and what he's done to it? Is that even inherently problematic? I would love to know Abigail's answer to that. That's the thing, right? Is we don't get the opportunity here to even engage Abigail or Jack. I don't know how old Jack is in this scenario. But like, we don't get a chance to engage with them. I would love to ask Abigail, do you want John to come back? Do you feel safer without him here? Like, how are you doing? We don't have the opportunity to even ask her that. But John is smart. And I think it's why he's measured in his response here.
In the way you enforce this civilization, this freedom for men to like or not like flowers, or whatever in God's name you were just talking about, is to kidnap a man's wife and son?
Well, I know.
I agree. Again, that's the not good thing that he's done here, if indeed Abigail and Jack are in immense distress. If they have actually been kidnapped and subjected to like a hostage type situation on behalf of the state, not good. Nobody is an angel here. But John does not have a lot of leverage here. He just doesn't.
There's contradictions. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, as I said, I'm not a great intellect. Now, after the debacle with the army and the bank, we have to put Mr. Vanderlyn to rest ourselves. Will you help us?
Do I have any choice?
Now that you mention it, no.
Then what was that pretty speech in it?
I don't rightly know, but it sure felt good saying it.
Shall we, Mr. Marston?
Let's go.
Rockstar is so good, man. I just love it. God, their writing is just fantastic. Hop in, John. Oh, God. Into a truck with a machine gun.
Let's see if we can put this to rest once and for all, shall we?
Come quick!
Engaging the military.
Have you seen this? He's coming
Wow.
down! More day. I never seen such a contraction.
Wow. This is dramatic. I love it.
They told me about these. The Army's been building them in sync.
Oh my god, what kind of automobile is that?
This killing machine of yours seems to be turning a few heads.
Our armed forces have no equal. We have made incredible progress the past few years.
Is that what you
And this
call
isn't
it?
much more than a simple prototype. You should see what they're working on in Virginia. Soon there will be no war we can't win.
Wow.
The Army has made camp a little way outside town.
Unfortunately, when we sent the homing pigeons to the confidential, fully encrypted homing pigeons to DC, one of the homing pigeons accidentally went to somebody in the press. So we're working on our security right now.
They put word out a large cache of ammunition and food is stored there.
Vanderlyn's gang needs constant supplies, so that should be enough to draw him in.
No mistakes this time. You hear me, Marston?
I thought you were talking to Fordham.
So you can't build competence. We can build machines, but we got dumbasses sending the pigeons. I don't know what we're supposed to do.
Look, they brought the machine gun!
What's the word, Captain?
We spotted one of Dutch's men about an hour ago. I think he took the bait.
Let's get in position then. Have your men ready to run them down if you have to.
Dismiss! Load weapons and get to the sandbag! Move!
Look, this right now should tell you everything you need to know about how awful and just crazy the influence of the Vanderlyn gang has been on the country when we are engaging the military in order to stop him, which makes sense. If there was a gang that existed in the United States that killed hundreds upon hundreds of people, touting that they were doing it for the benefit of whoever, just destroying families, robbing banks, destroying institutions, not doing it, not pushing up, just pushing laterally, you probably would want the military to go after him too. Like, we're not talking about Dutch. See this, and this is the difference. We talked a lot about this in Red Dead 2. This is the difference between what Dutch says and what Dutch does. If you listen to Dutch talk, you would think, and engage with his charisma, you would think that the Van der Linde gang was noble. That the Van der Linde gang was really trying to help the little guy, is only pushing up, is taking out the big wig billionaires that are controlling everything and don't give a damn about you. And we're out here as a bastion of the people in the same way the revolutionaries are down in Mexico, trying to fight for their people and fight for the good of everybody involved. That's what you believe if you listen to Dutch Van der Linde or are inducted into the system. That is not what he does. That is not what the gang did. The gang was a shit show. It was not organized. It was not like the rebel forces in Star Wars fighting against the Empire. It amounted to what is essentially a splinter terrorist group to the people of Saint Denis, the people of New Austin, the people of everywhere that the gang went to. And was incredibly self-serving and led by a personality that was far more driven by ego than the benevolence that he touted outwardly. So the use of military force to stop them is a reaction to their actions, not to their mandate that Dutch creatively cultivated to get people to follow. And this response is one that really shows the gravity of just when you have federal agents going after these people. I would be more upset if this was something where Dutch was legitimately doing good for all the communities he came through. He came through Saint Denis and like liberated Saint Denis, and people were coming from all over the place to follow him because they believed in what he was doing, and he became the bastion of like freedom, like the new age George Washington. I would feel very differently about this. I would be like, man, is the military an oppressive force that's being sent down by more of like kind of a fascist type regime that can't handle the fact that the people want something differently than what they're bringing? But that's not what this is.
Ready to finish this, Mr. Marston?
I guess so.
Fingers on the triggers, boys.
Wow. This is nuts.
Targets on the horizon. Fire at will! Oh, man!
Way too many horses are going to die in the making of this battle.
We'll kill you all!
Now, real quick, before I finish this fight, I do think that it's understandable why the natives are interested in fighting alongside Dutch, because the natives are incredibly disenfranchised with the federal government, as they should be, and 100 years later still are and should be. So if you're asking yourself, why are people riding horses into a battle against the military on behalf of Dutch, I do think that he has preyed on the needs of the natives and their position relative to the way they've been treated by the federal government. I think, and this is why I think Dutch is so just dangerous. He's getting people killed because he may have inducted folks into this idea that he was going to help liberate them, or, you know, be a man of the people, a man of the natives. But really, what we know about Dutch is that it's all just about him and his own self-serving needs, which is what makes this so incredibly unfortunate.
How many bastards are there?
Again, nobody's perfect here.
I've been waiting for this day!
You would think, though, that they'd be like, wow, we've lost a lot of people to Dutch. Maybe we should turn on him.
This ends now!
That's how good he is at manipulating people.
Sons of bitches!
Goddamn savages! They're retreating! Cease fire and mount up! We're going after them!
That fella can shoot.
Right! This thing's a lot bumpier off the road!
It's gonna be a mess if we have to follow them into the woods. Can't you hold this thing steady for them?
I'm trying my best, sir!
They're hiding behind the rocks! Gun them down!
We should have done this a long time ago!
Take them early!
The natives really have gotten just absolutely screwed in every possible way all throughout history, man. It's awful. This is such a, like, representation of that, microcosm of that. They resist, and the white man just comes steaming through with a bulldozer and a machine gun.
That wagon's out of control! It's coming straight at our cavalry!
Oh, those are our guys. Oh, man. Oh, shit.
Well, Mr. Marston, it seems like your mentor Dutch no longer looks quite so kindly to his student.
That man is insane.
So it seems.
I think we need to get him before sundown.
As you say, Captain. Otherwise, he'll be gone again.
And what if I say no?
Now, before
John.
I shoot you myself, let me just point out the obvious. The one person we have left that can appeal to Mr. Vanderlyn is the last person we know who knows him. Your wife.
Ooh.
That won't be necessary. Mr. Ross, Captain, let's go.
Mount up, man!
Damn.
Move out!
Damn. Oh, man. It's fine, John. You want me to use your wife? Sure, flex your autonomy.
I can't believe Vanderlyn has built himself a fortress in the mountains.
He's crazy, but he certainly ain't
You
stupid.
already seen that place, right? McDougal told me you went up there with that Indian chap.
I seen it all right. We'll be lucky to last 5 minutes with this many men.
Governor Johns is going to be very pleased.
Nate Johns? What's he got to do with any of this?
Let's just say he has a vested interest in cleaning the filth out of this region. I don't think our old friend Dutch realizes what a great favor he has done us, inciting all this hate among the natives.
Like you needed an excuse.
See, this is what
That's the tragic thing about all of this. Like, it really is. That all this has done is serve Dutch's self-interest and actively stoked the flames of fear against the natives. Like, he essentially empowered the group in a way that was never going to set them up for success. There's no, like, he's not an if he was an advocate of the natives, he would have gone about this entirely differently. He's an advocate for himself and his survival. He has actively, negatively influenced the general populace's representation of natives. They were already skewed and scared. This, even worse. Even worse. This sets them back for his own benefit.
What happens when you fraternize with savages?
They are being used as a pawn in, like, the worst possible way.
How could you ever follow a man like that?
How could you ever follow a man like Ross?
Vanderlind is a psychopath, a murderer, and a rapist.
Ross don't seem too different. Dutch was a good man once. A far better man than you.
So what made him this way?
I don't know. Bastards like you. Seeing that things never change.
Oh, man. All right. This is so reflective of current events in 2025. And I don't know how to say this in a way that's not, like, really complicated. So pure freedom, just absolute in its core essence, absolute autonomy, can only exist in a context where there are no rules. So if you want pure freedom all the way, then murder is fine. Rape, fine. Anything you could possibly think of is fine. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. Unfortunately, one person's autonomy is another person's problem. Where if you say, I want to kill you, and I say, I don't want to die, I should be free to not die. And the person says, well, no, I should be free to shoot you whenever I want. Those things cannot coexist. So systemic freedom in its purest form cannot exist. So this is where we collectively kind of bring ourselves together to try to create systems that support what we morally and maybe even just practically can imagine are good for the benefit of most and the individuals within that system. So, no, you can't murder. You can murder, but you can murder like once or twice or 1,000 times, but there's going to be consequences for it. You can do anything once, but there are certain things that if you do it, then consequences are going to follow you because we're trying to create a system of reinforcement in order to prevent these types of things. It's an imperfect system, but ultimately, there will always be an advocacy for some level of control. Dutch is existing on a platform of freedom. But it's freedom that exists in a way that is really only beneficial to that specific group, not the entirety of society at large. Where pure freedom becomes, to some extent, a form of terrorism, because it is impossible to square that up with the general rules and regulations that are either explicitly instilled or just passively created by virtue of how people coexist with each other. So when you see rules as a form of oppression in like a universal blanket kind of way, you are in like the ultimate space of privilege. And unfortunately, this is the type of thing that you see throughout history, and even in 2025, as I speak about this as a person who lives in the United States, there are groups of people that believe you should be able to do whatever you want because of my freedoms, and that cultivates very bad things. So Dutch thinks he's like this freedom fighter, but he's really not, because he's not acknowledging that there are general things that have been created that exist for the good of as many people as we can have. And then, yes, we continue to critique the system and try to make it more accommodating to more people, find the spaces where you can relax the rules and maybe make weed legal, but continue to ensure that methamphetamine is illegal, like these kinds of things. Trying to control the human experience is an unbelievably hard task. But John bought into that. And Dutch has done a really good job of charismatically hooking people into this idea that the government at large, like when John says people like you made him this way, what he's really saying is the establishment of the federal government, of rules, regulations, of OSHA and HIPAA and laws and all these sorts of things, is an oppressive force, is antithetical to the freedoms that this land is built on. So you, by virtue of trying to instill civilization, are screwing us over, screwing over my freedom. So it's your fault that he acts this way because he's pushing against that. And that is a more limited in scope way of viewing it, what it is that's going on here. I hope all of that made sense.
I hope you're ready to finish this mess.
Anything to get you sons of bitches off my back.
There's always somebody watching, Mr. Marston. I thought you'd have gleaned that much by now.
You think you're so clever, don't you?
No, it's you who thought you were clever. You thought you could just walk away from your old life. Make no mistake, we have been watching.
Don't speak to me!
You're really an ungrateful slug, Marston. Instead of punishing you for your crimes, we are giving you a chance to kill the men who betrayed you. All we need now is Father Christmas.
You didn't have to punish my wife, too!
Oh, please. She's hardly innocent.
Don't you talk about her like that!
Oh, I would never talk ill of dear Abby. Do you call her Abby or Abigail? I prefer Abby. No, I like the woman. A little rough for my taste, but very pleasant.
I can't wait to put a bullet in your head.
See, that is a part that, like, you could make the argument is completely unnecessary. Like, there is a level of decorum that I would expect from a person in uniform that doesn't include personal insults about his wife. Like, that, to me, Dr. Mick, is a line that, like, he did not need to cross. That was gratuitous mean. He was gratuitously mean there. He did not have to do that. He did not have to do that. He's, again, not wrong, but he doesn't have to be a dick. But his contempt for John is legit. Him being annoyed at John, again, a ruthless serial killer that he's giving a chance to. I understand the contempt. It doesn't mean he has to engage it entirely, but I get why it's there. He doesn't have to be gratuitous, but he also doesn't have to be a sweetie pie, Mr. Total Respect to him.
With been dragging it out, not us. We sent you to Fort Mercer with the simple task of killing Bill Williamson. Next thing you know, you're running all over Mexico like a headless chicken.
And now it's Dutch.
He's the last one of your merry band, is he not? Then you can go back to your farm, or what's left of it. If need be, you can always send your wife back out to work. I hear she works hard.
Go to hell!
Yeah, again, not necessary.
So
You can keep that to
gang members
yourself.
Won't die easily, will it? I wonder how many deaths you are all responsible for. How much money you took from pockets of hard-working citizens.
We did more for the people with the money we took than the damn government ever did.
Good
Did you?
God! This flawed philosophy yours again. If you wish to argue the finer points of ethics, I suggest you learn to read first.
And I suggest you learn how to shoot people in the front, not the back.
I would love to know what John would point to say that the gang did more with the money they took from people than the government ever did. I really, genuinely would love to know. We're all robbing, stealing, throwing money in the box in Red Dead 2, and it was going toward Dutch's encampment. Toward living nomadically. What did the gang ever do? Did they build orphanages and schools? Did they create systems where people had access to resources they never would have otherwise had? If they had, you might think that people would be getting in the way trying to stop the government from taking the Vanderlyn gang out, and the gang wouldn't be hiding in the mountains. Like, if Dutch set up a non-profit and had all the gang working for the non-profit for the betterment of the people involved, if he's building houses in underserved areas, if Armadillo was built by the Vanderlyn gang when the government abandoned it after they built the railroad, yeah, man, I'm there. Dutch took care of the gang, and John feels a sense of indebtedness to him for that. I understand that. John's personal sense of like connection to Dutch because Dutch took him in when the world wouldn't, that I understand. The hard pill for John to swallow is that Dutch then took advantage of that. Dutch didn't cultivate that into something meaningful. He cultivated it into something that was self-serving. And I think John is having a very hard time getting away and detaching himself from that because of that very deep sense of indebtedness to him. That's the power of somebody like Dutch. And it's the power of like when people betray that. You know, the word betrayal has come along a lot, like that Dutch betrayed you. In a lot of ways, he did. He did not deliver on the things that he sold you on from the time that you were picked up in the gang. And it sucks to have to come to that realization. And some people will deny it forever. Some people will go so far as if like Dutch was running for president, they'd vote for him, and Dutch would actively engage in a way that is purely self-serving on a platform of I'm for the people, actively screw over his constituents, and those people will still continue to support him. That is essentially what's happening with John. John has been actively put in a terrible spot. His life is worse off for it, and he is just he still won't divorce himself from the idea that maybe hitching his wagon to Dutch was a bad idea. He could actually probably save himself a lot of hassle if he was willing to do that. But Dutch sold him on a doctrine that he won't divorce himself from. And it would be hard to get him to do that. Again, this is the beauty of Rockstar games like this. There is so much wonderful complexity psychologically that goes into this. And a lot of this is represented very well in terms of how a person would respond to this, but there's so many dynamics going into this. And it's fun to talk about, and I appreciate you being here and listening. I realize I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I do my best to try to bring some extra layers of depth to this stuff. Music's great. Quite the long, winding path. What mission is this? I don't know, the one we're on? I don't really know how to answer that. The go get Dutch from the mountains mission? This is a blind run, so I have no idea. Down. I actually kind of like that they give you this long ride. I wonder if part of the reason Rockstar made this such a long ride is because they want you to contemplate all the stuff that you've been talking about with Ross. Actually get you to wonder if maybe you're not the bastion of good. You're not the paragon that John likes to think that he is.
So you're the one who's gonna kill him?
Dutch? Yep, that's what they keep telling me. But if you feel like doing it, please be my...
You, blow that gate open. Move, soldier.
Wow.
Go! Get down!
Forward! Move in!
It's time to kill these motherless bastards!
Oh, come on, guys.
I need to get out of
There's
here!
no way out!
These don't look good.
Push forward!
Scared now, huh?
Stay alert! Son of a bitch!
Hold them up!
Pleasure doing business with you, boys.
Move up! Over there!
Oh,
Eyes
man.
up, man!
The music is so good.
There's another wave of them! Don't stop now! Your problem just beginning. I'm open!
Is that all you got?
Come on! Somebody cover me! Let's go, man! Move into the village!
I'd love to know the message that Dutch is giving these guys, too, that's making it so that they want to come out like this. They're coming to take your freedoms. They're coming to take your sovereignty.
You man the Gatling gun, Marston!
They just have a Gatling gun sitting in here that... I love that they have a Gatling gun in here that is pointing into the camp. What is the purpose of that? Dutch's camp planning committee is really just...
You almost got me.
has really declined since Hosea and Arthur left. I can't see shit, dude. I hate that I'm doing this at night.
take it from here, Mr. Marston. Don't fail this. We'll be waiting at the stand. Real men don't give.
This way! Come on!
Marston, use that Gatling gun. We'll take him out from the ridge.
Good grief.
Like, I'm inclined to just use my rifle. More efficient anyway.
We need more fire! Gatling gun, use it!
Who do you think you're messing with?
Quite the little setup here. Look at all this.
Right, Marston. We'll take 2 men with us. The rest will stay here and take care of the wounded. They'll plant charges at the gate. You and I will provide the cover fire. This is it, men. Let's get that gate down. Keep them covered now, Marston. Up top! Cover them! Come on! Don't just stand there. Do something! Son of a bitch!
Stop playing tough and run off back to mom!
Where the hell are these guys all coming from?
Take cover, men! Here it comes!
You tend to your wounded. I gotta face Dutch alone.
Looks like it's me and you, John. You should have stayed at home. You better follow me. You married?
I don't.
To the government, John. After all I taught you, I don't have a choice. There's always a choice. You're just too blind to see. Family! Your family? Abigail was any man's wife, John. And Jack, he's another whore's son. Just like you.
Oof.
You're weak. You always were. You never had the stomach for this. Son of a bitch. God damn it. You'll never take me alive, John.
Yeah, I don't think Dutch is gonna give me the satisfaction. I really don't. Just a prediction here. I mean, the ultimate version of exert your freedom under the duress of an oppressive force would be for him to kill himself. I don't think he could stomach the idea of being killed by one of his own people who's working with the army. So it would not surprise me if Dutch doesn't give us the satisfaction and ends up killing himself here if we box him in. It just would fit the profile.
It's over, John.
It would not surprise me. There's no way he's gonna let himself go to prison. So I'm gonna give possibly a preemptive suicide trigger warning because I can just see it going that way. Wow, look at the throne room. Damn.
You're just like me, John. You can't change who you are.
I ain't like you.
How the hell did you get up there? Oh. This is quite the little... Let me sit in my warm-ass cave while... Again, it's pure Dutch. Let me sit in my warm-ass cave while everybody freezes their dicks off outside. Bring your tired, your weak, your poor, your restless, so that they may build my camp and keep me warm and insulated and feeling good about myself.
You can't erase the past, John. You admit it won't make it go away.
That's where you're wrong.
Hi. You here to see what happens to Dutch, kitty man? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hello again, John.
Hello, Dutch.
We gotta stop meeting like this.
Sure.
I got a plan, John.
You always got a plan, Dutch.
This is a good one.
I don't doubt it.
We can't always fight nature, John. We can't fight change. Can't fight gravity. We can't fight nothing. My whole life, all I ever did was fight.
Then give up, Dutch.
But I can't give up, neither. I can't fight my own nature. That's a paradox, John. You see?
Then I have to shoot you.
When I'm gone, they'll just find another monster. They have to. Because they have to justify their wages.
Oh, man,
That's
he's
their
really bought in
business.
hard.
Our time has passed, John.
Yep. Oh.
So at the end, you didn't have the guts to shoot him.
The man's dead, Ross.
Sure. Can I see your gun?
Oh, man, is he gonna shoot him? There is.
Oh, trust me. It looks better in the report that way.
Where's my family?
Oof.
Your wife was killed in a prison riot last week. So, I'm only joking, dear boy. They were sent back to that Scrabble ranch of yours in Beecher's Hope. They're quite safe and sound.
They better be.
Thank you, Mr. Marston, for everything. I know this wasn't easy for you, but I have to say, you've done your country proud.
Yeah, exactly. See you around, John. Try to stay out of trouble. Come on, Archer. Let's go find somebody else we can annoy.
Yeah. Again, gratuitous. Not necessary. At all. I don't love it. And here's for now that they're making good on what they said. Help us get Dutch. We'll let you go. Head home to see your family. I hate that I have to do that. Sorry, friends. You've been right there the whole time. We started going the wrong way. Okay. Not confident that this is going to go well. Maybe it will. John, unfortunately, is at the mercy of whatever the system decides.
Abigail! Jack! Anyone here?
It is the middle of the night, John.
Anyone home? Oh, darling. I never thought I'd see this day again.
You no good hillbilly piece of shit! I thought you was dead! I thought you was dead, John, huh? Where you been? Where you been?
You know where I've been, darling. You know.
You saw Dutch, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw him.
And Bill?
Yeah, I saw him too.
And you didn't go back to him?
I left that life. Just as you left yours. How'd they treat you?
Oh, I can take care of myself, John. One guard got funny on me one time, but I wasn't so ladylike and he didn't try it again. Nor no one else.
How's the boy?
Oh, like you. And like me. Well, he's like a kid growing up without a father.
That ain't fair.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
fair.
Well?
It's fair. It's fair. John, you didn't have to go get Micah. You didn't have to do it. You did not have to do that. That was a totally fair shot. Totally fair. And you better start taking some goddamn accountability for it.
Some trees flourish, others die. Some cattle grow strong, others are taken by wolves. Some men are born rich enough and dumb enough to enjoy their lives. Ain't nothing fair, you know that.
Oh, that's his
We
Dutch
tried
showing.
to change. I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to do?
We did change. And it's over now. Jack! Jack, come here, boy.
Hello, sir.
Come here. How you been?
Coyotes ate all the chickens and poachers took the cattle. I tried, Father. I tried.
I know you did, son. I know.
And don't you go blaming me, boy.
Oh, no
Don't
way.
you go blaming me.
No
I
way.
ain't blaming no one, old man, but since you're still alive, there's 4 mouths to feed. And no cattle.
That's a nice way to greet somebody.
Get out of here.
Why don't I get to warm and tender embrace?
Consider the fact I ain't put a bullet in your embrace, old man. You were supposed to look after the place.
I did. No, I did my best. Thing is, there was too many of them. I thought you was dead. I wasn't drinking.
Hold your excuses until you figured out which one to use. Jack, go get your bags packed, boy. We got work to do. We leave in the morning. Go on.
Yes, sir.
Where are you?
That hits so much better having played Red Dead 2 before I played this. Like that, Uncle showing up there would be like kind of whatever. But playing Red Dead 2 first and then having Uncle show up there is like, oh, come on, you son bitch. You annoying, complaining, obnoxious son bitch. Get in here.
You going?
Well, it's getting kind of dark now, but in the morning we've got to go get ourselves some more cattle.
It's getting kind of dark now. In the middle of the night.
We've got friends at McFarland's ranch. It's over in Henniganstead who can sell us some. Now, Abigail, I hope you learned to cook.
Yes. Didn't I say, rather than some prison, they actually kept me incarcerated in a cooking school for young ladies.
We gonna tend to our land like old times?
How do you do?
What's up, Jack?
Are you ready? Let's haul out.
What a beautiful piece of scenery.
Come on!
Man. That might be the greatest skybox from 2010.
How you feeling, Jack?
I'm feeling fine, sir.
We got a decent ride ahead of us.
I've never been to Henniganstead. How do you know these ranchers?
I met him while I was away. McFarland's are good people. We need folks we can trust right now.
Them how?
I was sick and they looked after me.
Sick how?
You sure got a lot of questions.
I don't often get a chance to ask them. Was it a gentleman's complaint? What do they call it? A morning drip?
Good God, boy, no! Where do you learn these things?
Uncle told me about it.
Well, he'd know, the dirty old fool. No, I just got weak for a while. Acted foolishly, got in trouble. Guess I was a little out of practice.
The morning drip. Holy shit. Oh, man.
Hey, Pa!
What?
Where were you all that time? Where'd you go?
What'd your mother tell you?
She said it was some kind of important government business.
That's about right. Some people thought I owed them some favors.
Why did they take us away?
They thought it wasn't safe for you here by yourself. Those men harm you?
No, they're okay. Some of them even told me stories. I think I'd like to be a government man one day. Or a politician.
I'd rather you chose an honest profession.
Like you mean?
I know I ain't been the best father, Jack. I made some bad choices. But all that life, it's over now.
Yeah, after this, we're gonna go Tahiti.
Pa, was it something to do with Mr. Dutch and Bill? Why you went away?
Who told you that?
I kept hearing their names. That's all.
Yeah, I caught up with Bill and Dutch. We had some old business needed settling.
Where are they now?
They're gone, son. We won't be seeing them again.
They were angry at you, weren't they? That's why we had to leave.
They was just good men who turned bad. I'll explain it to you one day.
And what does that make you?
I guess I'm a bad man who tried to be a good father. I don't know. Every man has a right to change. A chance of forgiveness. Ain't that what the good book says?
You've never read me the good book, sir.
Well, I imagine that's what it says.
Yeah, I think an important dynamic here is John is not entitled to Jack immediately letting him in. Sometimes parents who do things that are not great for their kids and then, you know, make attempts to redeem themselves will lean on a sense of entitlement that you somehow deserve to have your kids respect and engagement. And you are not entitled to that. If Jack is hesitant and a bit standoffish and isn't engaging with John in the way that John believes that he should, John should be empathic toward that and work with that rather than engage a sense of entitlement, or else he's not ever going to really recapture anything with his son. This is why my annoyance with John around not taking accountability for things is so strong, because he says things like, I'm a bad guy who's trying to turn good and blah, 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 but like, he's going to really have to do some significant work. Like, redemption in the emotional sense in his relationships that he cares about is really going to have to include true deep acknowledgement of the way in which he has not shown up, and really taking accountability for the fact that this is going to be a road. This isn't something that you just immediately get.
So, you ready to learn about herding cattle?
I've never seen you hurt anything, Pa. Apart from the odd pack of drugs.
The McFarlands were good to me, and I helped them out in return. I learned a few things along the way. Wait till you see their ranch. It's what ours will be one day.
I read in the newspaper their ranching's dead. Careful! Soon it'll just be factories and businesses around here.
You shouldn't believe everything you read.
I was thinking, maybe I might be a businessman.
I thought you wanted to be a writer.
Well, I could be both. A rich industrialist who writes novels about the Old West on the side.
You can be whatever you want, son, but for now, let's concentrate on getting some food on the table. Unless you're planning on striking literary gold in the next day or two, that is. We'll talk later, son. Right now, I need to concentrate on not getting us lost.
Thank you for the cue.
There's the ranch.
Hey, look at that. We didn't get lost.
See if we can find Mr. McFarland.
Would you look at that? There he is.
John Marston. Now, there's a face I thought I'd never see again. Some of our public servants in Blackwater sent you back on another homicidal errand to protect and save us from Lord only knows what?
Thankfully not, sir. I was hoping you might still be able to sell me some cattle.
My boy, it would be a pleasure. Bonnie's out to Crown now. She'll be more than happy to help you.
Take care now, Mr. McFarland. Good luck. All right, Jack. You're gonna have an important job. I want you to lead the herd while I drive them from the back. Keep us all moving in the right direction.
Sure, Paul. I can do that, no problem.
And if you see cows straying off, can you help me round them up?
I'll do my best, sir.
Good Lord, do my eyes deceive me? A devil walks among us.
I said I'd be back when this was all over, Miss McFarland. After the barn fire, you remember?
Of course I remember. I just didn't believe a word of it. So, you've come for some cattle?
Yeah, I'm finally starting up my farm again. Or trying to, at least.
You'll be fine. You've been taught well. Come on, then.
Come on!
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah. Head for the river, son. Slow down. Come on.
I'll give you a hand to get them moving.
This is what John wanted.
John, come back and see us sometime.
So, what happened? Last I heard you were headed for some exotic escapade in Mexico.
It's a long story. Too long to tell without a drink in my hand.
Back to the riddles, I see. And Mr. Williamson?
Let's just say Bill and I settled our differences.
So, is this your boy?
Yeah. Say hello to Miss McFarland, Jack.
Hello?
Ah, the arrogance of youth. He gets a little fur on his lip and he thinks he knows best all of a sudden.
Must take after his father.
Don't really understand that sentiment.
How's your wife?
She's well, I think. We haven't had much time to talk yet.
Well, I'm glad you're back together again.
It's gonna take some time. We've all been through a lot.
Looks like you got him under control. I best get back to Pa.
Nice to see you again, Miss McFarland. And thanks for everything.
Call me Bonnie, you don't. Yeah.
All right, Jack. Let's get him through the river.
Oh boy. Come on. Come on.
Whoa there.
Come on. Hey.
Hey. Come on. You're doing a good job, son. Just lead them straight up the hill towards home.
Will do, Paul.
Whoa. Yeah. Let's go. Come on, easy up now.
I am running a graphics mod with lighting mod. For those in chat that are wondering, this is not the way that the game was released. It looked exactly the same as it did on 360 before I added the lighting mod. It's done wonders to make this look the way that it does.
Go.
And it's a long ass ride. Jesus. Oh, come on.
Come on. Load up now. Hold up, Jack. This don't look right. Yeah! I'll deal with this. Stay with the herd, Jack.
What's going on? What? Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, Jack, just watch me murder all these guys.
Come on, come on.
What the hell is going on?
I think that's all of them. Jack, wait there, I'm coming. You all right? You're not hurt, are you?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I wasn't scared, honest.
Sorry you had to see that, son. Those men won't be stealing from anybody else. Jack, head left up the road towards home.
I know where I'm going, Paul.
It sucks that he feels like he has to say that he wasn't scared. That he wasn't scared. Okay, if he's scared. Tight herd, yeah. Yeah.
All right, now lead them into the pen.
You think he wants to just look tough and impress his dad? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Come.
Probably has some expectation that fear means he's weak and all that other bullshit that, you know, people learn.
Slow up.
And yeah, he probably look. There's a good chance that kids are egocentric, so there's a good chance that Jack may have some part of him that wonders if John's absence in his life is because of him. Like, that's generally how kids process this stuff. They don't immediately go to, oh, my dad's involved in a complicated dynamic between the government and a gang and blah 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 blah. Generally, a kid, you know, Jack's a little bit older, but kids tend to be very egocentric in how they process this stuff. And so he probably is going to do some compensation to try to gain his dad's respect. Maybe thinking somehow that that'll keep him around more.
Nice work, son.
We made it.
Did real good out there. Go on. Hit your horse and wait for me by the stable. Whoa. That's a fine herd we got ourselves.
So we're ranchers now?
Did a good job, son. Nice shooting.
Thanks, Paul.
Make a rancher of you yet.
Hey, be nice. Damn, this is a nice ass house. Where is my bedroom in this nice ass house? Oh, here we go. All right, friends, we're going to end it there. Thank you for taking the time to engage with this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot of meat on the bone. A lot to talk about. So leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, all that fun stuff. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Tell your friends. Yada, yada, yada. Looking forward to part 18. This playthrough will be an adult. If you're binging, I'll see you right here in the next episode. If you're waiting for the next one to come out, I'll get it out as soon as I can. Appreciate y'all a lot. You matter, and I'll see you in the next one.